Today, we gain wisdom from mother, author, mentor, Sabrina Golden, owner of Sabrina Golden LLC. Listen to our dialogue about purpose, pain, pleasure, and parenting. And now, making peace from the pieces. Sabrina.
Yeah, and that's a challenging situation because, and I'm going to bring you back to this whole finding peace amongst the different pieces, because I think one of the challenges is that we're in this social media age, and there are a lot of different pieces moving at the same time, managing all these different platforms, not just managing the varied of responsibilities that you have, but managing your image and replicating your image on all of these platforms and making sure that it's consistent, and doing that while having to fight those or respond to those who are trying to shape or define that image with their comments. Do you feel like your past experiences have helped you to become stronger and more durable in this age of high criticism and judgment?
Absolutely, because I was super shy, and I don't know if you remember that. I was
Yep.
super shy. I didn't really talk to anybody. I was to myself, but I was very still friendly, and I always smile. Um, Now I'm speaking out. I speak on how I feel. Whereas before, I was always I kept it to myself. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I didn't want to uh, just I just kept a lot of stuff to myself. And now I'm able to talk. I'm able to share. And I think a lot of us who do keep everything inside, it just makes us explode. And it's not good. Um, and I think that's what a long time ago, that's when I had gotten to depression because I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to share. And so that takes a toll on you, and now I'm able to speak because I'm free. I'm I'm talking. That's
Yeah.
it's something to be able to communicate.
It's such a challenge to find that balance in finding yourself because I'm a bit of an introvert myself, and so what's interesting is you have to find that balance between finding peace in being by yourself, being in those alone moments, um, and realizing that your gift and your responsibility won't allow you to do so, that you have something to offer to other people, that if you're quiet, you're going to restrict them. And so, what is it like learning to own that responsibility and say, you know what, it's a lot, but obviously, if God has placed me in this position, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
For me, it's like I'm still quiet, but I speak out when I need to speak out. Um, and I do it not in a harsh way, but in a loving way. People say I'm still nice when I mean, uh, but
Nice,
but
nasty.
nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So but I still do it in a loving way. So they're just like, did she just? Okay, maybe she. Okay, yeah, she's still. I don't know. Is she mad? She's not mad. But I, that being able to really just love on people and talk to them in a loving kind way, because God says to love
Yeah.
our people,
To
love
love each
love
other.
them. You could win them by love.
Yeah.
And so that's what I take literally in my daily walk, in life.
Yeah. And that's a major challenge for all of us is to learn how to navigate those relationships because even though we may find peace among being among ourselves, the gifts and talents that God gives us don't allow us to remain by ourselves. we have to interact with other people, and we have to manage those relationships. Now, when you talked about learning how you found your voice, but I'm going to use this word balance that you used earlier. How did you find balance with your voice? Because one of the things that you said was, uh, I can be angry, but I don't have to speak. And that's not a quote, but that's what you were saying. I don't have to speak harshly because I'm angry, or I don't have to lash out. How did you, once you found that voice and that volume, like, hey, hey, how did you find that balance with it?
Now, don't get me wrong. I still have issues where, like, I won't say. If I feel a hurt or something, sometimes I'll back off, and I'll just, that's my mechanism. So I'm still working on it, and because of my past traumas, I can see like little triggers, as far as um, me shutting down with not saying anything, but eventually it does come out. Like, it may take me a couple hours, a day or so to get
Yeah.
it out, but it's gonna eventually, to where I'm always been the type to think about what I say before I say it, and sometimes it takes me a while to do it.
Yeah, that's a good thing,
So
though. That's what I was talking
that's
about
my
with finding
balance.
that balance.
I'm not gonna lash out, because if I lash out, some cuss words might come out, and I'm not a cusser. I don't cuss, but then I'll be thinking about it in my
We,
head. I'll be like, no,
we still know how to
calm down.
use them words now.
And I don't cuss, so it's like funny. If I do, they know I'm like to the point of like, no, don't mess with her.
Yeah, if you hear me curse, it's serious. But at the
It's
same
very serious.
token, I think that's one of those things. And my joke is with cursing is I start patting on myself. I say, where are those words at? I still got them. Really, don't
It's
poke the
still
bear. It's still there. It's still there. But at the same token, when I was thinking about that word balance when you were talking, uh, sometimes it takes a while to learn how to find, not just find that voice, but to learn effective ways to use that voice. Because when you've been hurt, whatever's been pent in is ready to come out. And so sometimes when you're emerging from those moments, it's like, okay, hey, you got your voice, but everything doesn't have to be aggressive, and so you have to learn how to balance the voice, and how to balance those conversations, and how to balance future relationships so that you can still be productive.
That is my issue with the relationship, because like I'm learning too, because we learn every day,
Amen.
to not think that everybody's the same. Because I'll see something like back in the past, and I'll be like, oh no,
Here we go.
oh, I'm out. No, I'm done. I'm done. And so that's why, like, hard for me is still a healing process every day. But when somebody loves you, that healing process can happen faster.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I find great about our relationship with Christ, in the sense that once you do find that love and that peace, then it extends out. It helps you because you have been forgiven, because you have changed. It helps you to be aware that you should forgive others, and that others could also change too. So you could meet somebody that's in a bad state, but it doesn't mean that they're always going to be in that negative state. So let's talk about forgiveness. When you talk about finding peace among all of these pieces, surely surely forgiveness works its way into your daily routine.
Absolutely. I mean, how can you have peace without forgiveness?
Yeah.
When you're in unforgiveness, that's a lot of weight on you. That's a lot of hurt, madness, sadness, and I don't have room for that. I have too much love to give, and you want to see people happy. You don't have room for all that.
Yeah, and forgiveness, I I think sometimes people think forgiveness is approving what was done to you, or saying that what was done to you didn't affect you or didn't matter, and that's not what forgiveness means. Forgiveness is just literally saying, "Hey, it happened, it hurt, but I'm not going to stay in this moment, and I'm not going to hold this person captive to this moment, and I'm going to
Exactly.
release myself, and I'm going to release them, because the Bible says that tomorrow has problems of its own."
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this: when we talk about bringing peace uh, to the pieces, what is your planning and scheduling like? Like, are you a mastermind with this, or are you just making it through?
I'm like a hippie. I just
A hippie.
I'm like a hippie. I just whatever. Okay, we're gonna do it. Okay, let's go. I'm just like a hippie. I just go with the flow. It's no complications with me. Like, I mean, there is if it's a schedule conflict or something like that, or it's gonna be on my kid's birthday, which I don't like doing stuff on my kid's birthday, but because I try to balance, make sure I'm always there, and so it it's all a balancing act because you want to make sure that your family is first.
Yeah. Now I
So
love that about you, because when I looked at um, your your site, even though it's your professional site, you still list that you are a mother first.
right.
Wow. Do you? I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you're saying, hey, I do all of these other things, but before I help you build your career and shape your image and give you advice, I want you to understand that I am still a mother to my children first. Why did you do that?
Because I've seen kids without their parents and how sad it is if one of them's not there or both of them's not there. And didn't want that for my kids. I wanted to make sure I was always there for their events, uh, moving in, college. I just need to be there. So I have a real strong desire for family. So
I love that. I do something similar even on my sites as well. I say I'm a father, I'm a husband, and then I'm a servant.
yeah,
Because we all have these titles and we all have responsibilities. But if our family falls apart, eh, or if we secure the bag and our children don't like us or can't stand to be in our presence, like,
exactly. And that's one thing. Back in my days, uh, I kept saying, money's not everything.
yeah,
Money's not everything. And due to that, you lost your family. Like, because if they're saying, "Hey, we need you," and you're never there, then we got a problem.
yeah. And that's the thing,
So,
people put so much emphasis on money, and we need money. It is a part of our life, but it's not everything. And so many people sacrifice the more important things, like being a mother, for making a certain amount of money, and then in the end, uh, they don't find peace in it.
Next week, making peace from the pieces with Sabrina Golden.